Okay, well, I'll call the meeting of the RARC June meeting to order. Do we have any guests tonight? Any new people? Okay.
I guess I would be a new person. I am not an official member. Yeah, so I guess I'm a new person.
We're glad to have you as a guest tonight, and after you see us do our thing, please consider joining us. Let's see. First thing tonight would be the minutes, approval of the minutes. Does anybody have any discussion about the minutes? Then I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes.
So move.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good. All right, financial reports, Ken.
Okay. Sort of good news here. We started out the month with $19,122.76. We got a $1,000 grant from ARRL coming in, $110 worth of memberships coming in. Newham workshop. That's strange, but $105, and then seminars, $12 coming in. Expenses for the Newham workshop, $136. Plus, let's see, Bruce, you ended up with, well, I'll do it as the two, $25.32 and $18.02 for the Newham workshop for various things. PayPal charged us for all the money that came through them, $14.28. And Zoom, we had to renew our membership, and that's they went up $7.40. So it's $157.40. And so we ended up the month with $19,998.74. So almost 20,000, very close.
Okay, very good.
Good there.
Anybody have any questions, anything for Ken about the
Yeah, I have a question.
financial reports?
Are we helping with field day financially?
No.
Okay.
We are partnering with RARC on field day. We'll have people out there, and we're also gonna Alan and the volunteer examiners are gonna be out there. So, we are participating.
We're participating, but not financially.
Yeah,
And
not
then,
financially.
any other questions?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
What about new members, Ken?
We got two. Anthony Harbor, excuse me, who's an extra, and I didn't write down his call sign. Silly me. Sorry about that. And David Franco, who's a tech. His call sign, oh, I do have, I'll come back. Call sign for David is KQ4ALE. And the call sign for Anthony is AI4EM. Sorry, I missed that. So those are the two new members.
Okay, so David called me this afternoon. He said he wanted to join the meeting tonight, but his assignment got, for those of you who don't know David, he's one of the priests at St. Joseph Church on Buford Road. And he got his assignments changed tonight, that he had to say mass at 7 o'clock. So he wasn't able to join us, but he will be watching the recording of the video. So that's the KQ4ALE. I was glad to be able to get him on board, because this is starting a movement actually with a number of priests and ministers in town that are interested in getting ham radio licenses so that they can do volunteer work. Most of them are actually out volunteering during disaster things and situations. Anyway, so they will now be able to communicate with us by radio as they become ham radio operators. So we're supporting that. So
He's
let's
Kilo
go ahead and take a
Quebec
vote on,
4.
come back.
His call sign is Kilo Quebec 4 Alpha Lima Echo.
Ken, you got that?
Yeah. Hey, Bruce,
Yeah.
did you see in the chat, somebody says, can someone open the church door?
WD30 is in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Okay, he needs to come around to the, so he is there. Okay, so can I, if I type here, will I get back to him?
Do it.
Yeah, I am speaking to him on the MRA repeater.
Yeah, tell him to come around to the gymnasium entrance, which is on the other side of the church.
Okay,
Come in there and then work your way, listen for the holy sounds and work your way towards the church interior. And
Okay.
that's where I'm sitting.
okay, we'll do.
Thanks.
Okay, so let's take a vote on these new members. Somebody want to make a motion to accept them?
Make a motion, we accept the new members.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Anybody opposed? Okay, good. We got him accepted. Thank you all. Okay, so the next thing is reports. First of all, anybody have a report on the field day activities?
DE session.
What was that?
Go ahead.
Alan, go ahead.
VE testing will commence at 1400 hours as usual. I'd like to know if any technicians are coming and absolutely make sure they have their FRN. But walk-ins are more than welcome. And remember, even with the new fees that the government's charging, testing is free and upgrades are free. So come see me.
Alan, just so you're aware, I think I put it in an email to you, but in addition to all the club members about field day, the one that had the VE, I sent it out to everybody who signed up for one of our classes. So all the tech, all the generals and all the extras got the announcement about our field day also.
And connected to the things that that they set out from RATs, you can sign up. It's actually a spreadsheet, Google spreadsheet. You can sign up for to be either the number one or number two operator. The way they operate, if you haven't done it before, is they have someone running the rig and somebody on a set of headphones doing the logging. So it's great for people who aren't comfortable with or aren't accustomed to handling pileups and doing logging and that sort of thing. It's a great education thing. So I'm going to try and get some word out to some of our recent graduates, Ken, and I guess hopefully get it out to some of the folks that took general as well, because it's a great HF learning opportunity. If you get there early enough, you can help them hang wire for their antennas.
Yeah, and if
Very good.
they're early, to me, I have no idea why they've never filmed it, but when they put up the big loop, to see that come up off of the ground, they raise it up about, it seems about 10 feet and hold it there and make sure all the connections are right, and then take it all the way up to the top of the lights there at the field. That's a sort of a, oh my God, when you see it come up off the ground, because it's a huge loop and they managed to do it rather simultaneously. So it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a 160-meter loop, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you haven't been out
Okay.
there, it's just good to kind of go visit.
And if,
Okay, we got one more in here.
and if you stay through the afternoon, they have hot dogs usually and hamburgers, I think, available.
Good. All right, Bruce, you got any other reports tonight, education or anything?
No, the instructors are going to get together. I've forgotten the exact date, a week or so, and we're going to talk through what we did with our new short course and how we want to do things this fall. So hopefully we'll come to some good agreement at what suits us, how we want to handle it. And that's about all we got from
Okay.
an education point of view.
All right, good, thank you. Dave Turner, you said you had something you wanted to tell us. Dave?
There we go. Yeah, I have a brother-in-law who is crossing the Atlantic. Currently, he's traveling between the Azores and Dublin. He's a general, call sign Whiskey Papa 2 Alpha Golf Yankee. His father was very much into amateur radio. Had actually had his shack on the cover of QST at one time. But he will be traveling. He's kind of new at the game, although he is a general, and he has a 718 ICOM. If you contact him, I'm going to be telling him to go on to 20 unless somebody else has some other suggestions. There are two of them doing this trip until Dublin, then he'll be going from Dublin to Norway. I don't know what the plans are for coming back. He's on a 40-footer. He is an accomplished sailor, having won the Bermuda race with 2 people, which had never been done before and never been done since. So he's a very much accomplished sailor, but he's a bit new on the amateur. I helped him with put up his antenna on the backstay, which is now working. Does anybody have any suggestions as to which bands he should be on? He has a list of what the frequencies he should be would be allowed on as a general. I gave him a list, and I'm open to giving him some suggestions. I can actually give you a satellite readout. You can track him across the Atlantic if you want, and and I can contact him via satellite radio with a message. I don't use voice because it's too expensive. He gets about 120 minutes a month for it. But if I give him the information, he'll be knowing where he should contact, and I will pass later on which hours he's on. They do rotating watches, 2, 4, and 6 hours, depending upon the time of day or night. So does anybody have any suggestions as to, I've heard that 20 meters is pretty good day and night. Any other suggestions?
I've actually got a couple of, well, a question and then a comment. So he's going to be in the Atlantic Ocean, correct?
He is right now between the Azores and Dublin, Ireland. That's his next stop. He went from Hampton to Bermuda, and then from Bermuda to the Azores, and now they're on their way to Dublin.
Is he legit for using his transceiver? And what I mean by that is when I visit my family in Germany, I would have to use a different call sign, and at least in Germany, you've got to be a extra class. Is he set with that?
He is. I'm not sure what it is. You know, he is not going to be entering. Well, he might enter.
Got
he's
it.
not. Yeah, he's traveling on the Atlantic, so that's a different category as far as I understand.
Okay, good.
But yeah, they're right now. I can tell you just by looking on my cell phone. I can tell you exactly where he is. And if you contact him, you can ask for the latitude and longitude for what his location is. So, and anybody who wants the little gadget for tracking him, I can send it to you.
There's definitely going to be a time of day where he'd have the greatest success in making it into the U.S. And I have no business talking too much about this, but there are going to be times of day that work best for him. And also there are other bands he can be using. It just depends on, if he's going to have to if he's going to waste a lot of energy trying to tune it. Like 15 meters is great and it's quiet, and he may have to search around for a band that he's having great success on.
Well, you got to recognize the primary job is to make the boat sail.
Yeah. Oh, I get that.
And this is a he has single sideband for maritime, but he also has a 718 ICOM that I've been in the boat when I went out there to help him reinstall the antenna.
Hmm.
It is cool. He even has a water maker.
Nice.
Yeah, he makes 60 gallons a day. He has solar panels. I think he says 550 watts. So he has enough juice to do most anything. He has a couple of different automatic tillers. One is wind driven and one is electrical. So like I say, he is a sailor par excellence. Knows his way around.
It sounds like you said he had a resonant 20-meter antenna, right?
He has a backstay.
One more time.
He uses the backstay of the antenna.
Got it.
He runs a. Actually, he had it broken off, and I went out and found a copper tube at a local radio store or a local auto store. We split it, cut a little bit off, put some dielectric in between the stainless steel backstay and the copper, and crimped it on with some stainless steel hose clamps.
Neat.
Yeah, and soldered the lead onto that. So it's and it's pretty solid. So you know, if you guys have, you say 15 works, and I've heard 20. Anybody else? Okay, I have no idea when he'll be on. It will be when he's off watch. There are only two of them. They started out with three, but one didn't work out. He will be from Dublin to Norway. He will have a third. But I don't know what the schedule is coming back. He may be staying over there for the winter. I don't know, or the summer.
Well, no one jumped in, but I was going to say if he's up for it, I think what he should be doing is when he's got that chance, right? Many of us, when we're out and we're trying to work the bands, 20 may be a little lousy, but you may hear some activity on 18 or 17 or 12. Shoot, maybe he gets lucky and 10's wide open. Not saying that, just
Yeah.
he should play around if he's got the time.
Yeah, I told him to listen to the bands to see where the contacts are coming from,
Yep.
and to let me know. He said he would text me via the satellite.
And there's a time of day that would work a little more, will work a little better for us here between the two locations, anywhere from 12 noon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock on 20 meters, all the way until the afternoon, you know, to have the maximum opportunity.
Yeah, 12 to 2, you say is good.
Yeah, it's a little early, and it's no, around 12. 2 is when other people can speak. It's been my experiences where it starts to really boom in from Europe on 20 meters, going on until about 4 or 5 p.m. And then I think it starts to taper off. But some of these guys here tonight, they've been doing this a lot longer than I have.
Yeah, well, of course we'll be speaking GMT time.
Yeah, he's going to have to figure that out. Zulu, we all speak Zulu, so
yeah, we were. Well, he's there. I think that's Romeo is what we're at.
So we're talking 20 Zulu for him. 20 Zulu for all of us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, around 20 Zulu, 19 or 20 Zulu.
Okay. So when he gets over to Europe, he'll be 5 or 6 hours ahead of us.
Yep.
So
Okay,
that's all I have. Thank you.
all right, thanks a lot. All right, anybody else have reports for us tonight?
Just the remote station has been behaving itself since we found the damaged coax that we fixed and rearranged the cabinet. So feel free, you guys, to log on out there that are members of the club.
Okay, good. All right, I'm looking to see if Rob Thomas is out there. I don't see him as yet. I have a, first of all, I want to make sure there's no other reports tonight, right? Anybody else got anything that they want to bring up? Okay. I got a little show and tell. If you give me a second, I got to get a different camera running.
Well, John, while you're doing
Yeah.
that, I think we just should let the rest of the club know that Tom Flippin's wife, Mary, passed.
Oh, gee.
And it's really painful for him, but just for you to know, and you may be hearing some more about it. I think he doesn't want to have a lot of phone calls at this point. Anybody who's lost a
Yeah.
spouse knows it's really tough. So, but since he's so active in the club, we ought to know, people ought to know it.
That's so sad. Thanks for letting us know that, Bruce.
Had she been ill for a while?
John,
She's had I think probably Alzheimer's, something like that, and she's been in a home for 2 or 3 years, I think. But this was, as far as I know, sudden. But I've not talked to him. I don't want to bug him. He's got a few really close friends who's been talking to him, and the rest of us are leaving him alone till he wants to talk. So, but just for you all to know.
Been there, done that.
John,
Yeah.
Mike, Tom is one of
Hey,
my former students at Huguenot High School. I've known Tom since he was about 13. And he would call me and tell me about Mary. And she did have Alzheimer's or something, and she just slowly went down. But he would go over every day about 3 o'clock and stay with her. So her passing was not unexpected, but it's still a shock. And his son called me, and I was going to call, Tom, so forth. And he asked me not to contact Tom at all right now, that he was pretty shook up and despondent, and he needed time to, get himself together. So I've just sort of held back. Otherwise, I'll be contacting. I'll pass that along to the club or whatever it may be worth.
Yeah, thank you.
One of the things that, while we're waiting on John here, Bruce and I have been doing some updating on the website. If you go out, you may or may not see any of it, but one of the things we have is the calendar that's available out on that website. Has a lot of the nets and whatnot on the calendar. If somebody would like to take maybe a day and verify whether or not those nets still exist at the times as stated, and then send a note to Bruce and I about that as to what you have discovered, that would be greatly appreciated. Just helps us keep the accuracy of the information on the website up to date. So anybody who has some time that can verify whether or not those nets are really still active, or if you happen to be the host of the net, that'd be great. Let us know.
Okay, can everybody see my screen right now?
Yes.
Big Blue.
Are you seeing the desktop or are you seeing the camera?
We're seeing the desktop, Big Blue.
Um, can't figure out how to get,
Web portal.
can't get what I'm trying to do. Anyway, what I was going to try to show you all, some time ago, I discovered that there was people working AM on 3885 megahertz, 3.885 megahertz on 40 meters. I got a lot of AM transmitter equipment around here that I haven't used in a long time. Most of it's working. It's probably all been restored. So I decided I wanted to start talking to these guys because the little network of people that they have that are doing this are a bunch of engineers and stuff from upstate New York and up into New England. And a lot of these guys are building their own AM equipment and stuff. Some of them are running, like, for example, old DX100s and Helicrafter transmitters and stuff on AM. So I decided I wanted to get involved with that. Now, the problem I have is the biggest transmitter I have here for AM is a screen grid modulated transmitter with two 6146s in it. It's a Knight T150. I also have a Globe Scout, I think it is, that's got a single 6146, does about 90 watts. And it's almost impossible to get a good communication with these guys, particularly if the conditions are a little bit bad. So I decided I'd try to look for a linear. Well, I have a linear for my single sideband equipment. The problem is that the sideband linears have a duty cycle that's way down in the, I think mine's probably 20 to 30% duty cycle, which doesn't work for AM because on AM, you constantly got a carrier you're transmitting. So you end up burning the linear up if you try it. So the solution was to go back into the 1957 handbooks and try to find a linear amplifier that's good for a grounded grid linear that's good for AM. It'll put out about something between 500 and a kilowatt and would be able to be driven with a screen grid modulated AM transmitter. The product that came out of all of this is
Hammer. He goes. What's that name?
I'm going to have a problem showing you the power supply. The power supply uses a 5200 volt center tap transformer. The only thing on it that's not authentic is the capacitors and the chokes and everything are all rated 5,000 volts. The only thing that's not authentic is the two, what would have been the two 866 rectifiers. I'm using solid state 866 replacements that actually plug into the original sockets where the 866 is went. I'm still waiting on a couple of parts to come in. I'm finishing up the tank circuit. As you can see here, the two 813s in the old time neutralizing capacitor. It's just about ready once I get those parts for the tank circuit to put it on the air. So anyway, this is what I've been doing with my spare time while I was kind of confined to the house with the current back problem I'm having. It's a lot of fun doing these old time things. You forget how satisfying it is to actually be able to build something. So anyway, that's my little show and tell for the night.
Did you tell us how much power that will run?
I'm not sure yet. I know it's going to be over 500 watts. They claim in a lot of issues that two 813s in parallel like that will run a kilowatt. I don't know. We'll find out when I put the I have an option of driving it with either 90 watts or 150 watts or 120 watts if I have to. So we'll see what happens when we put it on the air. But
There is a blessing for digital television.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's right. Your neighbors won't give you any looks. No dirty looks from your neighbors now.
Yeah, unless they got some leaky stuff.
Yeah, that's for sure. Okay, so anyway, that's my little show and tell. Now let's see, has Rob come on yet? Because he wanted to show his little thing from last meeting that didn't work because he couldn't get it connected at the church. And I have mine here, and mine works. I'm since I can't share the screen like I'm supposed to, I'm gonna have a problem actually pulling it up and showing you all what it's doing. But it works as well as the this is a commercially made oximeter, and it works absolutely as well as that. So, and the beauty of it is you can put alarms in it. For example, if you your oxygen went down too low while you're sleeping, or you know, any of those kind of things, you can set alarms in the thing to you know, to trigger some kind of an audio device to let you know that you're having a breathing problem or an oxygen deprivation, because oxygen deprivation is a very dangerous thing to have. If it goes on for any length of time, it can damage your heart and a lot of other stuff. So a person like me who has partially disabled lungs, I think it's going to be a very welcome thing to have next to my bed at night. So anyway, Rob, if you're there, speak up so we can let you show it. Well, I guess Rob's not here. Okay, so in that case, let me go ahead and let's ask for a motion to adjourn the business meeting, and we'll go ahead and turn this over to Ken because he has something he wants to present tonight. Anybody have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Yeah, I see second.
Seconded?
Aye.
Okay. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Okay, Ken, go ahead.
Okay, let me share this. What I want to talk to you about is RSS, which is really simple syndication. It was developed way back in 1999 as a way for people to make connections and share content, mainly blogs. The little icon that you can see, which is an orange thing with a dot in the corner and then two bars across it, is the symbol that actually web browsers came up with it and said, that's what we're going to call it. And so that's how it happened that icon was created. So the idea is to standardize a way for you to see web apps, web content, particularly new stuff, without actually having to go to all of the websites and visit each one to see what they did new. How to find a reader to read the feeds. To me, you can find it using any search engine, your favorite. I use Google for the most part. RSS feed reader, you can add the platform, Windows, Android, Google Play, Linux, Apple, or the Apple Store, or the Google Play Store. As I say, try several, find one that you like. I use something called NetFlow, okay? NetFlow has this as one of its screens. You can see this shows you the feeds that I follow. CNN has a nice feed. Dave Richardson has a feed. This is another feed from Reddit. ARL, us. I follow Scientific America and the latest scientific news, and then a couple other amateur places that I follow. And as one of the things that if you, especially with the CNN feed, there's a lot of news and they put out a lot of information, and you can get inundated with the number of articles to look at in a day, to say the least.
Can you open up on one of those sites and show us?
I can. Let me share a slightly different thing then, and I'll show you that. Let's
Are
see.
they charging you for these feeds?
No, this is all free.
Okay.
PowerPoint, slide, net flow. Okay, this is the actual net flow as it is right now. So I have 20 here. So if I say, hey, let's
Open up ARRL.
oh, you can go to ARRL. Let me go to. There's only two that I haven't read. One is to FCC poses a $34,000 fine for interference, and this one you can click on it. It goes to here, and you can read a little bit about it without actually going. And if you click it up here, you go up to their website, and you're actually not going to read the content on their site. Okay. Oh, can you guys see that it opened?
Mhm. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it does.
I wasn't sure if when it switched, if you guys would follow it or not, but so that shows you the ARL article actually on their site. So now let me see if I can get the sharing to go back to where we were. I'll probably end up having to stop it and come back and share it back again.
Kenneth, that sounds a lot like Slashdot.
This place is locked up, but there's some water right around the corner of those stairs. Go to your right.
Okay, so here's the two that we were at. You can individually say, hey, I've read this one by clicking here. If you want to get rid of both of them, you can click down here and on this reader. But like the four here, we updated the repeater page. If you haven't been out, that's one of the things. This is off of our blog entries. We got some new pictures that are featured on the website. June meeting newsletter, and then the information about the RATS field day. That's what's happening on our website. And as I say, if you click on it, whoops. Oh, it's going to be acting up. It doesn't want to go to it. Okay. So this one, and then you can double click on it and it'll take you over to it. So that's what it looks like. And its idea here is to allow you to see parts of the article, if you will. And you could read this much. You could open it up a little bit and read whatever it has here, and then decide if you want to go ahead and read the whole article or not. The thing, let me go back to the PowerPoint here for you guys in a second.
How many million people can now do things with
Yeah.
Zoom online that couldn't?
Yeah. So if you're trying to find feeds of a WordPress site, if it's a WordPress, and that's what we are, you just add feed to the name. So like in our name, if you want to go to it, is, RARCclub.net, and add /feed, another /. That's the name of the feed. If you see that icon, that tells you that website has it. And normally if you hover over the icon, it'll tell you the name of the feed. And then Google RSS news outlets, which will give you a whole lot of news outlets. Any basically major news outlet will have a feed for sure. RSS electronic feeds, if you're interested in maybe ham radio, you could say ham radio. After you've entered your feed into your reader, you might want to save them. You can export them, and then you can import. Again, they're saved in a special file with the suffix of OPML. You don't want to actually look at it, but just know that if you wanted to have the feeds that I have, I could send you that file. It's a fairly small file. It just has the name of the actual feeds, and you can trade them. import it, delete the ones you don't like, and keep on trucking. So it's a way to get a hold of information without having to visit a whole bunch of websites. So here's a coding horror stories. Somebody has a blog about that. Wired has a whole lot of feeds. Gizmo has feeds if you're interested in gadgets. RARC has feeds. Linux Security, for those of you that are running that, they have a feed of information about that with security bulletins. So just realize ham radio for blogs, Google it. This is a website that has quite a few good feeds that you might be interested in ham radio itself. So that was most of it. Let's see if I have another thing I wanted to show you guys. Oh, I wanted to show you actually adding a feed. Now, each of the readers will have a different way of actually doing it. But for my feed, this guy, okay, so you see the thing here with the CNN and all this. If I go up here to where it says add, I want to add a feed, the name of a feed, hit enter. Latest gear from Wired is where this is from. I open it, I can sort of get an idea of, you know, here's what it looks like. If I like it, I can say save it, add it to my thing. Called latest gear. I can add a longer description if I want down here. I don't. Oh. Latest gear. How many to keep, which is all of the readers will have this. What category do I want it in? Well, let's put it in science. It's not quite, but hey, every 6 hours, it's going to go out and sync. You can change that to whatever basically you'd like. Show it on the main page and on down. And then here is save. I save it, and now it'll be on my page right here. Gear. If I go to sciences, it'll be included in here. So it's just, as I say, it's a way, and since we on our website do have the feed, it's something sort of nice that, hold on a second, I gotta go back. It's sort of nice that you can look at it and you know, just have a little bit of fun without, as I say, having to go to all of the websites along the line just to see what's going on. We want to say one other thing about it.
Somebody's got an open mic.
So if you can see here, if I put my cursor on this nice little orange thing down here in the far left-hand corner, you can see the name of the feed. That's one of the things that you can do. As I say, if you haven't been out to our website, we have quite a few more pictures from the Hopewell, the satellite classes that they taught, a ham workshop, that we've got field day featured over here still, or now, that talks about that. One other thing that most people don't know about or don't pay attention to, right here we have a search box on our website. So if you wanted to know about membership and you didn't know where we had hidden it, you type in membership. membership page for paying for a half a year, which is what we're using right now, paying for the full year. Here's where the membership form is, the renewal page form. So these are all pages that have the word membership in it. So if you wanted to join, here's where you would go to the membership form. Okay. It's actually here under forms, and membership application is the very first one. Somebody was wondering how you join the club. That's how. But if you didn't know the address of the church or something like PO box, you wanted to send something to the PO box and you didn't know where it was. These are some of the places where PO box are. Information page is where it's really at. So you can go to the information page, and here's the church's address. Here's our PO box address. Here's the new board membership and the officials of the club that we have here. So again, just something for you guys all to be aware of. As I say, the RS feed is a nice way to find out if Bruce or I put something new on the website. We normally make a blog entry and that generates the RSS feed automatically. And if you have the feed reader up and running, you don't have to go to our website to find out what's been changing. And it's just a way to do that. And if you have other interest, you can probably find somebody who has a website that will have information about it. David? Any comments or questions? Okay.
Which RSS reader are you using?
I'm using one called Newsflow. NEWSFLOW. That's the one I use. As I say, there are literally probably hundreds of them that you could choose between. That's a Windows one, which is what I run. There are other ones. I sometimes go out and look and say, oh, what are the best news readers for 2021 or 2022, and see what they say. I sort of like the one I have. There's a couple things I wish it would change, but it gets the job done. And
Did you say, do you get any kind of notification when they're updated?
yeah, that's basically what this when I showed it to you. Let me go back to it.
Sorry, I didn't quite.
Yeah. This is saying that CNN has 20 new things out there. And I, as I say, if I click on this, here's the 20 newest things that have been out there. If I go through here and I read them all, and it hasn't done its automatic update, I can always come up here and say refresh. It will then go to all of the news RSS feeds that I have defined and query them. So I don't have to necessarily wait for however many hours each of these are, and each of these could have a different update time frame. Some of these, like the Southgate Amateur, they only actually update it, I think it's once a week. So that's what it's inside, is what I have coded for it. Some of them, post infrequently. And then, as they say, CNN, Reddit, that posts a whole lot. ARRL occasionally for the resource I have on here, they have quite a few. So it just sort of depends on, what's your interest and where they lie, and what you see. As I say, you can go and do, as I say, Google on all that. If anybody's interested, I'm going to post those slides out on our server, on our website, and make it available if anybody wants to download it as a PDF, actually. So that's all I
Okay,
really
thanks,
have.
Ken.
Did Rob join?
Anybody else have questions?
Well, so I have a question. I happened to sign up for membership during the meeting. Interestingly enough, and I'm wondering what are the chances? So I'm assuming that that membership would still have to be voted on. Is that correct?
You're Ron Nash, correct?
That is me.
Okay. We have a new member who is paid and would like to be a member, Ron Nash, who's, let's see, his call sign is KI4BWH. And you are a what?
General.
You're a general. Okay.
Yeah, I just passed the general about 3 weeks ago, I guess.
Okay.
No, about a month ago, 3 weeks, a month ago, something like that. It was fairly recent.
John, since we're not in the meeting, can we still vote on him?
I would think so. Let's go ahead. I mean, first of all, let's say motion to amend the opening of the business meeting to accept a new member. Anybody want to make a motion for that?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, then the business meeting's
Welcome,
back
Ron.
open, so we can go ahead and deal with the
Okay.
membership.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept Ron Nash as a new member of the club.
Second.
All in
Yep.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hey, Ron, you're a member.
Welcome, Ron.
Awesome.
Welcome
Thank you.
aboard, Ron.
Thank you very much.
That didn't take long.
No,
Oh.
well, verifying that he actually paid and I got the email so I can add him to the roster. So
Instant member, yeah.
That's great. I appreciate it.
you're welcome.
Okay,
Come
well,
aboard.
Awesome.
okay, then we need to go ahead and close the meeting again then. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, business meeting is now closed. Thank you all, and wait, before we sign off, Mike Friedman, you still there?
I think he was on a call.
He's on mute. I tell you what, this is Brewer. I've got a couple things to share.
Okay,
All right, hello,
Go ahead,
everybody.
Brewer.
This is Brewer, PW4MGA. As you may or may not know, I'm president of MRA. That's the 543 and the 22442. I'm also a director on RATS and the RF Tech Chair for RATS. I got three quick items. I'll go to the first one that's most important. 5 o'clock today, I finally, after a month and a half of trying to get the Raceway to tell us if we could have the Raceway and the RAR meeting buildings for FrostFest 2023. And they're working on giving us a hard answer by next week. So a lot of people are asking about FrostFest. Everybody knows we had to cancel for 2021, 2022. We do not yet have a FrostFest chair, nor the army of people that it takes to do FrostFest. There's been a suggestion that the RATS board get together with the RARC board and try to work collaboratively to pull that all together for 2023. We're not to that point yet, and we're ratifying the bylaws of RATS, which is now a 501c3, which comes with a whole bunch of government red tape. But I'm just letting everybody know that we're trying to resurrect FrostFest 2023. And if that happens, whether you're formally part of RATS or not, it's going to take the greater Central Virginia ham radio community to pull it off. It usually takes about 30 people to do that. All the money and investments and planning notwithstanding. So just want to throw that in there. That happened this afternoon after 5 o'clock. Number two, several of us went to Hamvention. We cornered John Crook of the Yesu Americas Sales Group, who typically talks about Yaesu System Fusion and all the Yaesu products. Recorded him on some technical issues, one of which is relevant here to RARC and RATS and MRA, is that, you know, the RATS has 2 or 3 DR2Xs, MRA has DR2Xs, there are a couple more in town. And as it turns out, when we converted over to those from the Motorola repeaters that we had, we lost some ground because primarily a DR2X is a pair of FTM 400 bricks and does not have the pre-selection that a classic Motorola would have. However, there is a solution which involves pirating the pre-selectors out of older Motorola gear to put in line with these DR2Xs to improve their desense capabilities and get the power back up. So all these repeaters that used to run 100, 125, 150 watts, that would be the ones at Sesame Street and the ones on a Channel 6 tower, have been, you know, backed off to 50 watts because that's all they could handle, even with a 6-can duplexer. But now we have a plan moving forward to get those back up into the 100, 200 watt output, because they're running on 700 or 800 feet of transmission line to get up to the top of those towers. Item number 3, I don't know if anybody brought this up yet, but WD30 went to see Chuck Smith today and put a walkie-talkie in his hands. And he actually made a half a dozen contacts. As you may or may not know, Chuck went down with a neurological issue back in the fall, and we've all been praying for him. And it looks like a miracle has happened because he was quite conversant and very happy to get his hands on a radio. So, you know, he's not out of the woods yet. He's not out of the facility yet, but we're putting a radio in his hands for his use. I'm sure it'll be monitored and not all the time, but that's a great way for him to, you know, talk to people that he hasn't talked to in 6 months. So be on the lookout for him on the 88 to 543. He will probably try to get onto a C4 FM here, the one that he launched just before he fell ill. So he's around town. I invite you to, if you get the chance, just to say hey to him because he was really enjoying it. That was all this morning or this afternoon, right around noon. So there's my 3 articles, and I'll take any questions if you have any. Otherwise, thank you for the time.
Hey, Brewer,
Yes,
this is KK4JNN.
yes.
I have volunteered with Frost Fest every year. It's been there. So I'm still on board.
All right. And I imagine there are quite a few of you here that would love to see Frost Fest come back. You know, even on the good times years ago, it took a lot of work, and it's a financial commitment. You basically have to reserve this. I think the reservation commitment date is August 1st. You know, we got about 6 weeks. And normally by now, the Frost Fest committee had a chairman, had an army, and they were marching down the field. We're nowhere near that at this hour, but there's some hope that that might actually happen. And I'm just saying, RATS is not going to be able to pull this off by themselves. It's going to have to be, whether it's formal or informal, a collective operation of all the clubs. And just stay tuned. I'm sure you'll hear something from RATS, so you can visit the RATS webpage for an update. I think we're going to try to come to some conclusion in the next 2 weeks, because if we don't, we'll just have to cancel 2023.
Yeah. But Brewer, if you need to speak with our board or anything, just let me know and we'll set something up.
Right. We'll probably try to do that next week. Thank you, John.
Okay. All
Anybody
right.
else?
Anybody else have anything?
We don't want
All right.
Frost Fest canceled.
I know. Neither do I.
Yeah, we like Frost Fest.
Well, let's
All right,
get rid of
I don't know.
COVID. Let's
Yeah.
get rid of COVID.
COVID,
And once we
yeah.
get rid of COVID,
Well,
it'll be on.
yeah, I just had COVID 3 weeks ago, so it's not gone yet. At least the Omicron, double Delta flip side variants are not done. Another comment, I did go to Hamvention. WD30 was up there, a lot of the RARC, Win Grant, Ray Dudley. A lot of us were up there. It was very good for me. There were 31,000 attendees, which is almost all-time high. So I guess we can conclude that Hamvention itself has survived. So it's now up to us here in Richmond to bring the Frost Fest back.
Good. All right, I was trying to see if Mike Friedman was still available, but next month's program, Mike is going to be organizing it with someone he knows. It's going to be about all the new simplex frequencies and things that are going to be coming along. So if you're interested in any of the new simplex information that's going to be coming out, be sure and tune in next meeting, and we'll have a speaker that will be able to tell you a lot about what's going on. All
Wilco.
right, so that's all I have for tonight, everybody. Anybody? And we're all good. Thank you all.
John.
Yeah.